Hey, what's up guys, TechTitan here, and I am back again with a brand new video. Welcome back to the channel. So before I begin this video, as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, checking out previous videos, subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so. It's right below. Also, if you have any questions, follow me on Twitter and ask me there. I've recently made a Twitter account. So yeah, follow me on Twitter. I'll leave a link here, one in the description. Follow me there. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them over there, and I'll happily answer them for you. So in today's video, we're going to be reviewing the ZTE Blade Z Max. Now, I know I might be a little bit late to the party, but I took my time actually testing out this video, and let me tell you right off the bat, so this might be my favorite budget phone of 2017. Period. For a phone that is under $100 that has these types of features, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about them. So let's talk about the design. So the design of this phone starts with the back right here. This textured material, which gives this phone a much better grip, and also these kind of subtle curves right here on the sides, and they also help with the grip of the phone, which is pretty nice to see on a budget smartphone. They really put some effort into actually designing this phone. So compared to last year's generation, it had that kind of sand, kind of smooth texture, which was kind of slippery, and they did learn from that, and now it looks much better. If you look at the bezels on the top and the bottom, they're kind of smaller than the ones from last year, especially the top, which looks pretty cool. Kind of actually reminds me of the OnePlus 3T design. Pretty cool. And also, one of the things that they changed about the design is this right here, the dual camera setup. And I'm gonna get back to the camera. The camera is pretty special on here, and I'll get back to the camera. They did keep the fingerprint sensor, and also one cool feature that this phone has is, it does have a headphone jack. Shout out to the iPhone. And it does have USB-C. Also, it does support fast charging through USB-C, which is pretty cool to see on a phone that costs $100. So let's quickly talk about the display of this phone. So this phone comes equipped with a 1080p display. This 1080p panel is actually really good. For one, the color on here is really cool. The color on here is actually really good. Now, while not accurate, but it does have kind of a saturated look. So yeah, you get a 1080p display, same from last year, but to my eyes, it's a better display than the one from last year, and it is a bit brighter, so a better visibility for outdoors. And one of the things that I really like about quality phones, even though that this is quote unquote budget, this phone has some pretty good tactile buttons. You hear that? So the buttons on here, the volume buttons and the power button, they're really good and they're really tactile. So the design on here is really good and I really like it. We talked about the design, we talked about the display, we covered a little bit of the features of this phone. But let's talk about the performance. And it does come with a 1.4 gigahertz octa-core processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM, which might not seem like a lot for a 2017 phone. But again, this is a $100 phone. And these specs are impressive, for the price. Performance. This phone is really consistent when it comes to day-to-day tasks. So, for example, opening up the phone app really fast and really smooth. Messaging really fast and really smooth. Browsing the web, watching YouTube, things of that sort. This phone is fantastic for. Now, if you play games, this also works really well. But if you go a little on the heavier titles, then you might experience some hiccups here and there, but nothing really major. Overall, this phone is really solid for performance. Okay, so let's talk about the thing that I'm actually excited for, which is the camera, or should I say the cameras. And I think this might be the highlight feature of the phone. Now, these cameras are, like I said, special. So you get two cameras on the rear. One 16 megapixel sensor and the other is a 2 megapixel sensor, which is supposed to give the camera additional features. Alright, so let's open up the camera and I'll walk you through the interface. Okay, so right off the bat, this is kind of a iOS type of interface. The circle shutter button and the way that things are laid out, the swipe to access kind of like the video, the photo. And you also have one additional feature, which is dual, and that's where the dual lens comes. So in dual lens, you get three options. You get portrait, you get bokeh, and you get monocolor, and that's pretty cool. So the monocolor, so you can kind of use like it'll pick up certain colors like green, red, and blue, and then it will block out, make the rest of the colors black and white, which is pretty cool. And I actually enjoyed this feature and I used it quite a bit in my testing. Also, it does have this portrait mode. It's a hit or miss, but it's there. And when you actually pull off a good shot, it looks decent. The rear-facing camera is actually pretty capable of shooting, of creating some pretty good pictures for the price. So the pictures come out clean. Maybe a little, the colors are a bit washed out. So overall, the rear camera is pretty decent. And so the features that come with the secondary camera are pretty cool and pretty nice to see. Like I said, especially on a budget phone, this is pretty much the first phone that costs $100 that does all these things. And if there's another phone out there, let me know in the comments. I would like to check it out. But yeah, so as for the front-facing camera, it's pretty respectable. I enjoyed the camera experience on here, basically is what I'm trying to say. For a budget phone, this is the best camera on a budget smartphone that costs $100. Let me quickly give you guys a bit of a taste of the speaker quality. So 3, 2, 1, and I'll give you my final judgment.
We're proud to report that Pixel received a rating of 89. That's the highest rating ever for a smartphone. HTC U11 camera, the highest and the only one with the highest score. Yeah.
Right, let me give you my judgment on the speaker. It's probably the weakest link. So the speaker is probably the biggest con on the phone. It's not really a bad speaker. It's a pretty decent speaker, but wish it was downward facing or front facing. But I mean, again, I can't really complain for a phone that only costs $100 to bring all these types of features. So I'm gonna let that speaker go. Especially we also do get a 3.5mm headphone jack. Alright, let me put this review into a whole conclusion. Okay, so let me quickly talk about the battery life and I'll give you a final conclusion of the phone. So the battery life on here is fantastic. At 4,000, I believe like 4,040 milliamp hour battery, and it easily lasts through the whole day of high intense use. So yeah, battery life is fantastic. That's that really. And like I said, it does support fast charging, so you can pretty much juice up the phone faster than you could with just regular charging. Alright, let me put this review into a conclusion. So this phone is really well designed, especially the curved edges on the side gives it a really nice grip. You get, in terms of so design, really good. Features, this phone is packed from the dual cameras to the fingerprint sensor to the quick charger via USB-C. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I guess the 3.5mm headphone jack is now a feature that not all phones will have, not all phones have. And the display is also 1080p, especially for a phone that costs this much. So overall, would I recommend this phone? Absolutely. If you're in the market and you're looking for a phone that costs in between $100 to $200, then this is the phone to go. Really cool features. The camera on here is pretty decent for the price. And yeah, let me just end this review right here. I really like this phone. That's really my final opinion. So yeah, let me end this here. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you have any questions on this phone or any other phone, follow me on Twitter. I'll be happy to answer them over there. And yeah, let me end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.